Hi guys, welcome to Mastercam's lesson 6. Today we're going ahead with our rectangle. Under the rectangle menu, we're going to finish this off by starting with the polygon, going straight down to spiral. Start with polygon, click on that. It mentions that it wants you to select the base point. So I can select the base point and I can drag it out to the size I want, and I can click there and I can go straight over to my blocks that I need to fill in. First, it wants the sides, how many sides. I can change this to 8 sides, 10 sides. I'm going to stay with 6. The radius, so the radius is the size, so I can either, if you look down at radius, you can be determined by from the center to over the flats or over the corners. If you hover over that, it will show you exactly what it means by that. So I want it to be over the flats 50 millimeters. Then I can also, if you look down, I can go to your corner fillet. I can put a fillet on the corners if I want. Maybe put a 0.5 radius on the corners. And the rotational angle, I can either fill it in the block, or I can dynamically just grab my cursor and drag it to the angle that I want it to be. I can also create a surface inside, and I can create a center point for this specific. Just go and accept that, and there is my right. Just going to undo that. Go to my top view. I'm going to jump into Ellipse. For the ellipse, I've got 3 choices that we can construct this via. You can either have NURBS single curve, that's the most common one used, or I can have arc segments, or I can have it constructed out of line segments. Just going to go with NURBS for now. It wants me to select a base point. So it says to me I can go and drag it to on the radius A, that's on the horizontal size, and then I can drag it on the y-axis to create a size in B that will be the vertical. So I can also go and change it at radius. I want that 50, and B I want 20. Start angle, sweep start and end angle. I can start it at 0, and I can also make a partial ellipse. So I can, if I fill in there 300, it will only create a partial ellipse for me. Rotational angle, I can also fill that in, or I can grab it by the cursor and move it to where I want it to be. Same applies to the other ones. I can also create a circle, a surface inside of the polygon ellipse, or I can create a center point for that as well. Accept that. There you can see I've got the 300 degrees. It starts at 0, it goes to 300 degrees. It's got a center point, and I haven't selected the surface to create a surface inside the ellipse. So I'm going to do that. Jump straight into the helix. If you look at helix, it wants a base point. Again, I can choose a base point. Now I can go and just fill in my blocks. The radius for that, I'll keep it at 20. The height, okay. Overall height of this needs to be 10. It's got 5 revolutions. The revolutions and the pitch works together, so if I change the pitch to 1, it will change the height to 5, and it will have 5 revolutions, so it's connected. I can even put in the taper angle, and I can put in a rotational angle. I can choose whether this is a counterclockwise or a clockwise helix. Just going to accept that. Look at it, you can see it's 5 mils high, and it's got a 1 mil pitch going straight down. I go into my spiral. So you can see immediately it brings up the spiral. Okay, I'm going to just select a base point, and I've got a radius of 20, got a height, overall height of 12.5. That is your height. If you lift it up like that, that's the height from the base point to where it stops. I've got an initial, it starts at 0, it goes, the vertical pitch is 5, goes in 5 increments. The horizontal pitch, if you look at it from the top, look at that is my horizontal pitch there, that is 7, initial and final 7. So if I turn this thing on its side on an isometric view and I accept that, I can see it's created a 3D shape for us with that spiral. So you guys can play around with that. Let's just undo that. Play around with that. You can do all sorts of things with that. The next one we're going to move straight onto letters. Go to letters. I can choose, in letters I can choose whatever font I want. Arial. And then I can go and choose the font folder. So I'm just going to go and use the Mastercam block font, and I'm going to it doesn't see my type in, and now I can go and select a point. I can make my letter height. I want to make that 10, and you can either have it horizontal, vertical, arc, radius. I have to obviously make that bigger for it to come out. Make that 40, and I'll have an arc, so I can either have it there, or I can switch to bottom of arc and it will have it at the bottom or top. And I can also grab it here and make it bigger dynamically. Okay, and that's for letters. Just accept that, and now we can do either engraving job, or we can extrude that in the solids or surfaces. Undo that. Okay, now we're going to have a look at bounding box. For bounding box, I've got this pre-selected geometry here. So what bounding box is all about is if you've got a job and you want a 3D bounding box around it with center points and all that, you can just click on bounding box. It's going to ask you to manually select whatever you want to have on the screen that you want the bounding box around. Select that in selection, and it gives you automatically all the size of the part. I can also select that I want the center point in the center, the origin is from the center, and I've got a choice at create geometry, other lines and arcs, corner points, center points. I want the center point, I want the corner points, and I want I'm gonna have solids. I can have either a cylinder as a bounding box or a rectangle. I'm going to go with rectangle for this specific job, and I'm going to accept that. As you can see, I've got a rectangle around it with the center points, and now I can order my material. I can also just undo that and go back to top view, bounding box again, select, in selection, and now I can just add 5 to that and add 5 to that size for my material. click yes, and as you can see, it's created a bounding box right around the job, 5mm extra, so I have some spare material to block this job up. Okay guys, next we're going to look at our silhouette boundary in the next lesson. Look through everything, and remember, practice makes perfect.